I think what would be enormously useful, and that's something that is not in place right now, is to have transparency over what field experiments are conducted, for what purpose, where, to have something like an international advisory board in addition to an international scientific board, or something that has been recommended, Eco-Scientists Without Borders, to get international collaboration, international participation, because right now it seems that geoengineering and the field tests that are discussed are essentially an activity undertaken by the North, primarily the US, UK, Canada, maybe some other European countries, Japan, without any consensus with respect to the Global South. And I think this is unacceptable. So the only condition I would say needs to be in place is transparency and an international agreement by international scientists. I think there are a couple of challenging issues. I think the most important one is that we're dealing with a global hazard here, and I think the argument is, despite the fact that many scientists say it's not the case, I think solar radiation management and other geoengineering initiatives distract from the fact that we need aggressively and now reduce our emissions, hence do something about mitigation. And I think it also distracts from the fact that we have commitments to adaptation. So it seems that an ethical issue is that geoengineering is considered as an easy way out, and nobody really wants to do the heavy lifting, and I think that's one of the major challenges. The second one is that it absolutely does not address overconsumption or excess consumption in the North by arguing we have a technological solution to the climate change problem we are facing today without ever addressing the actual cause. We're just addressing the symptoms, and I think that's a major ethical mistake. And I think the third one is that geoengineering absolutely distracts from other narratives around climate change, and these are narratives around rights, responsibilities, justice, equality, that get completely lost when we just look at technical solutions. I think the most immediate step that should be taken is a ban on any unilateral efforts in geoengineering, as well as a ban on individuals who have the financial means to engage in action without approval from countries, especially countries who will feel the consequences. And there actually is a moratorium that is discussed now, this week, in Japan, in the context of the United Framework Convention on Biodiversity, that requests a ban on unilateral action. And I think that's the most immediate action that needs to be taken.
Is there anything else that you would want to add to this discussion? Or?
Maybe the only thing I want to add is I work a lot in countries in Africa, and I think what I see is, what I mentioned earlier, is that geoengineering is a debate that happens in the North. And I think many people in the Global South either are not informed about the risks that are involved and hence don't feel their voice is needed, or they do have insight into some of the propositions that are made but don't have the voice to articulate their claims. And I think we would want to broaden up the debate on geoengineering so we understand the science behind and we understand the risks that we take, even though not all risks are known at this point. But I think we need much more global awareness about the strategies, about the consequences, and try to get a global improvement or consensus on how to move forward. And I completely understand that that's not an easy undertaking. It will take negotiations, it will take probably lots of rounds of negotiations, but I think geoengineering has global impacts, and I think it's absolutely unethical to move forward with that debate only in certain countries that actually can afford the technologies. I think that's unacceptable.